This has got to be the biggest week in AI this year. So many huge things have dropped and so much has happened. We have a new AI bodyswapper. We have a new mysterious image generator that appears to beat FLUX. We have yet another AI video generator, and the quality of this is incredible. OpenAI finally released their advanced voice feature. Google releases 2 new models, plus Meta has released their latest AI model, Llama 3.2, plus their own voice assistant, and a lot more, so let's jump right in. First up, we have a new AI bodyswapper, and it's really impressive. It's called MIMO by Alibaba, which has released a lot of cool things lately, by the way, including the open source Qwen 2.5. Anyways, this MIMO system can replace any person in a video with just a single photo reference. And this is pretty revolutionary. Before, you need a bunch of cameras to create a 3D model of a person. Or perhaps you need some motion capture technology to do the body swap. And it's a real pain to do all of this. It takes a lot of steps and a lot of time. But with MIMO, you just need to enter a single photo and it does the full body swap for you in minutes. No need for mocap, no need to make a 3D model yourself. So here are a few examples. You can see it works for high action scenes such as this person dribbling a basketball. Notice his dribbling, the movements of his hands and legs, the basketball, everything remains very coherent. And then here's another one where the person is transforming into this character from the avatar. And here's another example of a very high action scene, and this body swapper just handles it very well. It even works in complex scenes with multiple characters. So as you can see here, this is a very messy scene with a lot of basketball players, and it's really easy for the AI to get confused, but it's still able to perform the body swap really well. Here's another complex basketball scene. You can see it's really high action. It's very messy. There's a lot of movement, a lot of characters, but for the most part, it does the body swap very well. Yes, there are still some minor flaws, especially the details on the person's face and the hands and fingers, but overall, this is still very good consistency, especially considering that it's only taking in one photo as a reference. So here's how it works. It basically takes in your video clip and splits it into 3 layers, which is pretty magical already. So there's the main person, and then there's the background, and then there's also the stuff in front. Now, for the main person, it further separates this data into their appearance and then their pose and motion. So now when you give it a reference photo of a new character, that character can also be broken down into code and basically used to replace the character here. And the best part is this isn't just a body swapper. You can take any video and extract the motion of the person in the video. And then you can use this action in another scene if you want. You can swap out the background. I mean, there's just so much creativity that this unleashes. Before, if you want to extract the motion of someone, you need expensive motion capture equipments to actually generate the action, or you need multiple cameras to generate a 3D model of a person, and it just wastes so much time and effort and money. But with this new MIMO tool, it totally removes the need for any of this. Alright, next up, Bytedance, which is the parent company of TikTok, has announced not 1, but 2 AI video generation models, which are called Seaweed and PixelDance version 1.4. Both Seaweed and PixelDance are based on the diffusion transformer architecture, which is also the underlying architecture for the other top video generators out there. As I said before, this is like if ChatGPT and Stable Diffusion had a baby. So it's mixing both the diffusion model, which is used to generate images, with the transformer architecture, which is used to understand natural language. And like other top video generators out there, these new models, Seaweed and PixelDance, also include controls like zooming, panning, rotation, and also it can remember and generate consistent characters across different videos. It also supports various styles like 3D animation and 2D animation. Now, from the info that I could gather for now, now, it seems like Pixeldance 1.4 can produce 10-second videos and is particularly good at handling complex motions, whereas Seaweed can generate up to 30 seconds. Now, they've just announced this, so it's not released yet for us to use, but I'll definitely update you as soon as we normal people can get access to this. So stay tuned for that. In other news, there's this image generator leaderboard from Artificial Analysis, and this week, 2 mysterious new models have shown up called Blueberry 0 and Blueberry 1. Now, this is a leaderboard where users can blind test different image generator models side by side. So it's really hard to manipulate this. These aren't like standard benchmark metrics, which are easy to game. And I would say these rankings are fairly accurate. The host of this, Artificial Analysis, is a reputable independent organization. In fact, I'll link to this in the description below where you can go ahead and blind test these image generators yourself. So basically, it uses 2 different image generators side by side. You don't know which is which, and then it generates an image using the same prompt, and the user has to select which image it thinks is best. And from all these results, they've compiled a leaderboard, and it seems like Blueberry 0 and Blueberry 1 are at the top. You can see it has a much higher ELO score compared to the current leading model, FLUX 1 Pro, which is pretty insane to think about. I mean, we've only had FLUX for less than 2 months, but now we already have another image generator that potentially beats FLUX. Now, we're not sure the details of this model yet. We're not sure if this is open or closed source. We're not sure of the company behind it, but some people speculate that this might be the next version of DALL-E by OpenAI, or maybe this might be GPT-4o. Remember that GPT-4o is natively multimodal. That means it can handle and generate images as well as text and audio. So this could potentially be an image generator as well as a chatbot. So let me know in the comments below, do you think Blueberry could potentially be from OpenAI? In other news, Meta just held their Connect 2024 conference this week and shared a ton of exciting AI updates. First of all, they announced their new Orion AR glasses, and Mark Zuck describes these as quote-unquote the most advanced AR glasses the world has ever seen. It weighs less than 100 grams, and this is definitely a lot more wearable than the Apple Vision Pro, which is just so bulky and heavy it's barely usable, and I would not use this myself. Anyways, Orion has a 70-degree field of view, which is wider than other AR glasses out there and provides a more immersive experience. Another cool feature is its control system, which combines eye tracking, hand gestures, and voice commands. In fact, how the hand gestures work is they use a technology called electromyography, which detects electric signals from your hand movements and allows you to control the glasses with hand gestures. Of course, it's also integrated with Meta AI, so basically it has a chatbot built into these glasses which you can interact with. Speaking of AI, this brings us to their latest model, Llama 3.2. By the way, 3.1 was only announced 2 months ago, so the fact that they're already announcing 3.2 just shows you the insane rate of progress in AI. Now, this new iteration contains vision capabilities, so the user can upload images for it to analyze. Now, Llama 3.2 is offered in various sizes, ranging from the lightweight 1 billion and 3 billion parameter models, which is text only, but these can potentially be used on smartphones and other edge devices. And then they have their larger 11 billion parameter and 90 billion parameter models, which do include vision, and of course, because these have more parameters, these are more performant. But it's also harder to run on consumer devices. Now, these are the first Llama models to support vision, with a new architecture that integrates image encoding into the language model. Now, in terms of its performance in vision, let's just look at this second row here, which is the 3.290B. And across all these benchmark scores, it seems to outperform, or at least be on par with the other models. But this is just on Meta's own website, so take it with a grain of salt. In fact, if you look at this other chart by Artificial Analysis, which is again an independent third party, you can see Llama 3.290B actually performs pretty bad compared to the rest of these models. So this is based on their quality index. In fact, Meta did note in their announcement they intentionally did not update the language model parameters. They've only added some vision capabilities, which therefore means that in terms of quote-unquote intelligence or performance, it's actually just the same as Llama 3.1. But it's just that now it can analyze images, which is kind of disappointing. Finally, note that all the Llama 3.2 models support a context length of 128,000 tokens, which is the same for Llama 3.1. So again, this isn't actually a breakthrough new model, it's just Llama 3.1, but with vision. But let me know in the comments if you would like me to do a review video on this. Finally, Meta also introduced a new voice mode, which seems to be a competitor to OpenAI's advanced voice feature. Not only can you select from generic AI voices, but you can also use the voices of some celebrities like John Cena and Awkwafina. They said it will be released this week, but at the time of this recording, I don't have access to this yet, and I verified with other people and they also don't have access to this. But it seems like soon you will be able to use this for free as a feature on Messenger, Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. Now, their initial demo was really short, like just a few seconds.
When is the next total solar eclipse?
Let me think. The next total solar eclipse is on August 12th, 2026, and will be visible from Greenland, Iceland, Spain, Russia, and a small area of Portugal.
I couldn't really see or hear, I should say, if it could do more advanced stuff like singing or making sound effects or laughing. The response does sound less natural and quite robotic, so it seems like this is just text-to-speech. This might not be a truly multimodal voice model like OpenAI's advanced voice feature. So just keep that in mind. If it's just text-to-speech, then this is nothing impressive. I mean, we've already have this technology for a long time. Now, I don't know about you, but I do not regularly use Meta AI. I don't really see the point of using it on WhatsApp or Facebook. I mean, for help with regular stuff, I just resort to either GPT or Claude, which are much more performant than Llama. But let me know in the comments if you actually use Meta AI for anything regularly, and what do you think of these new updates? In other news, OpenAI has finally rolled out its advanced voice feature this week. This update is for all ChatGPT Plus and Teams subscribers, except for everyone in the EU. Now, this isn't really OpenAI's fault. It more has to do with the regulations around AI in the EU. So for example, Llama 3.2 also cannot be used in the EU. Anyways, back to OpenAI's advanced voice feature, there are now several new voice options that you can choose from. Plus, they mentioned that it can handle different accents better. However, they did remove the Sky voice, which was initially showcased back in May, which sounded like Scarlett Johansson. Now, I already did a full review and testing video on it, so I'm not going to repeat too much here. Definitely check out this video if you haven't already, but basically I found that it is very heavily censored. You can get it to learn languages and help you correct pronunciation for some languages. For example, it works well for French, but not so well for Chinese. You can use it to tell bedtime stories for your kids in different accents. You can use it for guided meditation and mock interviews, so there are various use cases for this. However, I also tried to test out its limits, so when I asked it to be my virtual girlfriend, I got rejected. When I tried to engage in a more intimate chat with it, I also got rejected. And then when I asked it to give me a goodnight kiss, I also got rejected. Sounds like my real life, by the way. It also can't sing songs like initial demo videos, it can't make sound effects, but you could ask it to include sound effects in stories. Anyways, see my full review video on this to get a sense of what it can and cannot do. Overall, I still think it's a pretty cool tool, but it is more limited compared to what we saw in their initial demo videos. Let me tell you about this awesome tool called ChatLLM by our sponsor Abacus AI. This allows you to use the best AI models out there all in one integrated platform. This includes GPT-4o, Claude Sonnet 3.5, Llama 3.1, and their very own Smog. Not only can you use it like a regular chatbot, but you can also generate images using the best generator out there, FLUX Pro. Plus, it has a really cool artifacts feature, so if you're coding or building something with it, it allows you to view and interact with the app side by side. You can also drag and drop PDFs and documents into here for it to analyze. This is great for generating reports and analyzing data easily. You can seamlessly integrate this into Slack and other enterprise platforms, so it's great for team collaboration. Plus, you can also create custom agents to automate specific tasks. This is just a really powerful and versatile way for you to use the best AI models out there all in one platform. So try it out via the link in the description below. In other news, Google also announced some big updates to their Gemini models this week. These updates include better performance and lower costs. So Google introduced two new models, Gemini 1.5 Pro 002 and Gemini 1.5 Flash 002. Yes, you heard it, 1.5 Pro 002 and 1.5 Flash 002, as if their previous naming convention wasn't confusing enough. I'm sure some of you might be thinking, well, if this is just 1.5 Pro 002, why not call it 1.6? I have no idea why, it's just what it is. And I mean, Google isn't the only one here with strange names for their AI models. For example, OpenAI has GPT-3, and then they got 3.5, and then GPT-4. And they also have a faster version, GPT-4 Turbo. So you would expect the next version to be GPT 4.5 or GPT-5, right? Nope. Instead, we got a GPT-4o and GPT-4o Mini, not Turbo. And then more recently, we got O1 Preview and O1 Mini, which doesn't even have GPT in its name. So why not just call it GPT 4.5 or GPT-5? Who knows? But anyways, back to Google, these new models have better performance for various tasks. Notably, they show a 20% boost in math-related benchmarks, so it can solve math problems more accurately and quickly. Also, for vision and coding use cases, both models also perform 2 to 7% better. In addition to performance improvements, pricing for Gemini 1.5 Pro has also dropped over 50%. So it's now way cheaper for both input and output on prompts that are under 128,000 tokens. Plus, Google has increased the rate limits for using these models, so it allows developers to get more done without hitting the limits too quickly. The new models also work faster, so they offer 2 times faster output and 3 times lower latency than earlier versions. And also, improvements have been made in understanding longer contexts and vision capabilities, and this enhances how the AI can understand and process a lot of information at once. So while this isn't Gemini 2, this still is a huge upgrade in terms of both performance and cost, especially for developers. In other news, researchers at Harvard Medical School created an exciting AI model called TxGNN. This model is designed to find existing drugs that can be repurposed, and their goal is to treat rare and neglected diseases. This is a huge step forward in medical research. So TxGNN has already shown impressive results. This isn't just vaporware. It identified potential drug candidates from nearly 8,000 existing drugs. And these candidates can target over 17,000 diseases, many of which currently have no treatments. Just think how incredible this is. This TxGNN could open doors for patients with these rare or neglected diseases, and they've been waiting for help all this time, but there's nothing they can do about it because there are no existing treatments for their diseases. But with this AI, there is new hope. What's even more remarkable is how well TxGNN performs. It outperforms the other leading AI tools by over 49%. It's also 35% more accurate in predicting contraindications. By the way, contraindications are situations where a medicine should not be used. And of course, this is super important for patient safety. So here's how it works. It actually uses quite a unique approach. It identifies shared features across different diseases, and this allows it to make connections from well-understood conditions to those that are rare and less understood. So it's basically taking this knowledge graph that maps all these different types of diseases together based on their shared features. So when it's performing these predictions and finding drug candidates that can potentially treat a certain disease, it runs it through this knowledge graph and it's able to make very accurate predictions zero shot. That means the researcher doesn't have to prompt it or refine it any further. It can just output a fairly accurate prediction in just one go, even on diseases it has never seen before in its training data. And this AI could lead to huge breakthroughs in treating rare diseases and conditions that have been neglected for a long time. The awesome thing is they have made TxGNN available for free. So the site is just txgnn.org. I'll also link to it in the description below so you can play around with it. But this is basically a free platform that allows clinicians and scientists, or basically anyone in the world, to use it. As long as you have the technical knowledge, you can use this platform to search for new potential therapies for any disease. Also this week, a few massive changes have hit OpenAI. First of all, several core members have announced leaving, including CTO Mira Murati, as well as Chief Research Officer Bob McGrew and Research Vice President Barrett Zoff. So here's a photo of the founding team at OpenAI. Here we have CEO Sam Altman, here we have Greg Brockman, here we have the Chief Research Scientist Ilya Sutskever. He is arguably the brains behind most of the early projects at OpenAI. And then we have CTO Mira Murati. Now, back in May, the day after OpenAI released GPT-4o, Ilya announced that he will be leaving. And then in August, Greg announced that he will be taking a leave for who knows how long. Now, is he really just taking a break or something else? Who knows? Now, interestingly, this week, the day after OpenAI released their advanced voice feature, Mira announced her leave. So out of the founding team members, it's really just Sam Altman left at OpenAI. Now, this isn't actually a really good time for their CTO to leave, especially given that OpenAI's dev day is just a week away. Anyways, here's what Mira tweeted. Hi all, I have something to share with you. After much reflection, I have made the difficult decision to leave OpenAI. My 6.5 years at OpenAI have been an extraordinary privilege. While I'll express my gratitude to many individuals in the coming days, I want to start by thanking Sam and Greg for their trust in me to lead the technical organization, etc., etc. There's never an ideal time to step away from a place one cherishes, yet this moment feels right. Etc., etc., etc. I'm stepping away because I want to create the time and space to do my own exploration. For now, my primary focus is doing everything in my power to ensure a smooth transition, maintaining the momentum we've built. I will be forever grateful for the opportunity to build and work alongside this remarkable team, yada yada yada. So this kind of seems like just corporate speak. She's trying to be nice here. There's really not much to make of this message. Now, is she really just leaving because she wants to create time and space for herself? Or is there a bigger reason? I don't think anyone truly knows besides herself, of course, and also some top folks at OpenAI. But the strange thing is, after Mira announced leaving, Barrett, the research vice president, also tweeted that he has decided to leave OpenAI. And then Bob McGrew, chief research officer, also announced that he will be leaving. I mean, this is another C-level person. This isn't just like an entry-level developer at OpenAI. So that day, 3 key employees announced leaving, but then shortly after that, we get this piece of news. OpenAI is reportedly planning to restructure itself from a nonprofit to a for-profit corporation. And this move aims to shift control away from its nonprofit board, making the company more attractive to investors. Remember the whole fiasco back in November last year when the old board members tried to fire Sam Altman? Well, as ridiculous as that sounds, having the board suddenly fire their CEO without warning, they could actually do so because they were, well, the board members. However, with this new shift into a for-profit corporation, the board members may not have as much control over the company's decisions. Your influence depends on how many shares of the company you hold. Now, this restructuring would maintain a non-profit arm of OpenAI with a minority stake in the new for-profit company. And if this sounds confusing, don't worry, you're not alone. A key aspect of this change is that Sam Altman is expected to receive equity in the for-profit company, which would be worth roughly $10.5 billion. And the company's valuation could be worth $150 billion. Now, the fact that this announcement comes right after Mira Murati leaves seems like it's more than just a coincidence. Anyways, all we can do right now is speculate. We don't know for sure whether all these core members are leaving because of this change into a for-profit entity or something else. As Mira Murati once tweeted, OpenAI is nothing without its people. So now with so many core members gone, do you think OpenAI will continue to be the leader in AI and continue to ship revolutionary models like the O1 or the advanced voice feature? Or will it just wither away and be outcompeted by other companies like Google and Anthropic? Anyways, that sums up the highlights in AI this week. So much has happened this week, it has been absolutely insane. Let me know in the comments what you think of all of this. I would love to hear your feedback, and I try to respond to as many comments as possible. As always, I will be on the lookout for the top AI news and tools to share with you. So if you enjoyed this video, remember to like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more content. Also, there's just so much happening in the world of AI every week. I can't possibly cover everything on my YouTube channel. So to really stay up to date with all that's going on in AI, be sure to subscribe to my free weekly newsletter. The link to that will be in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.